So once again, we are in my mom's piece of crap Chevy HHR. This is one that the timing chain broke and I had to do all that work to it. So obviously you can see check engine light. It's got a few different codes here, but again, another vacuum leak. See the short terms, and we just give it some gas. And let off the gas, and there they go again. So we have codes for oxygen sensor not switching. We have lean codes, misfire codes, and I'm sure it's all related. Okay, so I got my little cheapo homemade smoke machine hooked up, and I'm using this I don't know, knockoff easy intake thing, and this thing is super sweet. I'm loving it how easy it is. But I got it going, and I could see a little bit of smoke coming from back here. I don't know how well it's gonna pick up. So I'm not sure what's leaking yet, but I could definitely see smoke back there. I took the airbox off to get a better look, because honestly, if we saw anything coming out the back of the airbox, it really doesn't matter because it's before the mass airflow sensor. But what we have here, I don't know if this picks up very well, but there is some smoke coming out of here, and it's kind of what I suspected, because this is an ongoing issue with this vehicle. We're leaking at the injector O-rings, and I've already replaced them before, and actually 2 times already. But it's always just been you know, find whatever O-rings I have here and see what to make them fit, because we could not find OEM ones. And then the first time I replaced them was from a kit that I got, but obviously the O-rings were just a little bit too small, so there was a lot of play in them. But I loosened the bolts that hold the fuel rail in place, and as I shake it right here, kind of move the rail around, I could kind of manipulate how much smoke pours out of them. So it's definitely coming out. Alright, so if you look in each of the injector holes, right around its rim right there looks nice and clean. That one looks dirty, clean, and clean. And if we come over here, if you look at that one that was dirty, look at the O-ring. See if we get it to focus. You can see the O-ring has been compromised. It looks like it's been torn or something like that. So obviously I was the one who did this, so my fault. But here's the thing, I'm not surprised, because these O-rings were not made for this. It's just something I had laying around in like a random O-ring kit. So honestly, I don't know if they were rated for fuel, and if I remember correctly, it was actually, you know, the O-rings are probably bigger than they were supposed to, because it was a really tight fit to get them in there. We're gonna see if we can find the correct ones. So this is how you can tell the O-rings I had in here are not rated for this. They haven't been on here that long, and they're all very brittle. They're just cracking. So I know they're not rated for this, but it's all I had at the moment. And here's a little example. These are the ones that just came off. There's a brand new one right here, but look how loose that fits. Very loose. And I took my chances with that, and obviously it didn't seal. And then I went to my next smallest O-ring that I had, and it's too tight, but there's not enough here of the O-ring, and I did try it. It fits very loose. And this one, it's tight to push into its bore, but obviously doesn't seal because it sits too loose around the injector. And here's one brand new O-ring that I had just kind of laying around. It fits perfectly. It fits on here nice and tight, and it slides into the bore nice and snug, but I only have one. We've been through 3 different stores, because yeah, you know, of course they all say, yeah, we got the part, come in. So anyway, what I realized what's going on here is that this is an adapter. At least it's what I think. So it has an O-ring underneath this piece of plastic, and that's the piece that everyone is trying to sell. But this has an adapter on it, so that plastic goes on there, and then it uses a bigger O-ring to accommodate this cylinder head. Problem is, nobody has this. So I'm gonna have to do what I did last time, just put these loose fitting injector or loose fitting O-rings on it. And of course you're still gonna have a vacuum leak, but at least you could drive the car. And order the correct parts online, I guess, or go to a dealer. Don't got time for it today, so just gonna put it back together. Okay, so we got the parts in for my mom's HHR, and these are the parts I was going crazy looking for in an auto parts store that they did not have in stock. So I had to order it online, but it is here now, and let's go ahead and get everything changed. Okay, so it is put back together. I replaced the lower injector O-rings as well as the adapter caps, if you want to call them that. You can see how much crud is built up inside of them. So now I didn't change everything. Like, I did not change the upper injector O-rings simply because number one, I did not want to depressurize the fuel system, even though it's pretty easy. I just didn't want to do it. Number two, don't fix what ain't broken. The injectors are not leaking at all. If we had, you know, a case where the injector was leaking, obviously I would have replaced them. But I'm really backed up today. I don't have the time to fully dive into this, which is why I only replaced what needed to be replaced. But it's going good. Just put it back together. What the heck? Okay, so we are recording now. We have a 98 Accord here that came in on the hook last night, and let's listen to this because it doesn't sound very good. I put my jump starter on it, but let's listen. Yeah, that don't sound good. Broken timing belt. ...2010 Chevy Malibu, and the rear caliper is actually leaking. You can see how moist everything is around here. It's leaking brake fluid, so we're gonna go ahead and get this caliper changed. Pretty easy stuff here. As you can see, new calipers in. I just have to bleed it now. And where is my flash flashing? I don't know. But you could clearly see where the old one was leaking. Yep, like I said, pretty easy stuff. Just out for a test drive, and the brake pedal feels nice and firm, just how it should. That's good. This woman has a 3-hour drive ahead of her. She's going to Decatur, Illinois. I know that side. I used to live out there for a little while. But the brakes feel good. She had an inspection done at a shop, and it needs 2 front lower control arms. We were going to get them done today, but money got tight because she ended up going to a muffler shop and they had to replace all kinds of stuff. So I told her to let's at least take care of the leaking brake caliper, since it's really a safety issue. And it's all set to go now. Alright, so here we have a 05 Charger, and kind of a hot mess here, so this car actually needs a lot of work. Besides what it's here for, it came in for upper control arms, stabilizer links, and outer tie rods. I can tell you already, I'm not going to be doing the outer tie rods because I looked it over real fast, and it's actually the inner tie rods that are bad. So obviously, going through the effort to changing the outer tie rods isn't going to do anything. So I'm not going to be changing those. I still have to call the customer about that. The upper control arms do look to be shot. Same thing on the other side. And the stabilizer links are broken, so they are getting changed. But yeah, you can already see the condition of this tire. And just by looking at it, the sway bar bushings look worn out too. So this thing barely wants to run at idle. After inspecting the outer tie rod, that thing is done for. It's got a lot of play in it. So I changed my mind and I was going to go ahead and get them changed anyway since they're pretty bad. But I opened up the box and of course we got the wrong parts from AutoZone. So that's got to wait. I did get the upper control arm in and the stabilizer link. I'm going to tell her she needs new bushings. And we'll take care of the tie rods tomorrow. This is the upper control arm for the driver's side. So I'm all done with this one for tonight. It's going to need stabilizer bar bushings, lower control arms. What else? There's something else, I can't remember, but it needs to come back tomorrow. 2012 Sentra, I think, and customer said the car shut off on her. It was check engine light flashing, wouldn't go over 20 miles per hour, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I opened the hood to just look at things, you know, visual inspection. And look at this. Yep. Look how crazy dangerous this is. I don't know what happened here. Clearly the positive side is shorting out to ground. This is crazy. So I'm gonna get this fixed right now. The bracket was practically welded onto this thing. And you could see everywhere where it was shorting out. Yeah, crazy. Because that's basically welded right there. Can't even really use this anymore. So for the time being, I think I'm just gonna remove this whole bracket because it's kind of done for. Yeah, this is crazy. Alright, well, easy fix for now. First time I've seen something like this. It is cold as heck out here. I did get the bracket to work. It's nice and secure for the most part. This side is a little bit loose. I can't go any further. I guess it's why someone previously put all these washers on here. But it's pretty snug. This side is pretty tight. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, it's not gonna touch that post anymore. It's good enough. So, should be all set. My friend's Honda Odyssey, and it is leaking trans fluid like crazy right out of that seal right there. So as you can see, I've already started. Just gonna go ahead and pull this axle out and replace that seal. Pretty easy job here. Got the old one out, new one is in. This thing just practically fell out. It did not really take any force at all. It just popped right out. So I'm assuming that's why it was leaking so much. The plastic or the rubber, whatever this is, it's just like rock hard, and it wasn't sealing anymore. So new one in. Make sure to put it in nice and smooth and easy. Don't want to damage the new seal. But now I'm gonna go on the other side and check out some noise he was talking about. Okay, so we got a Saab 9.3 here, and I think I'm ready to throw in the towel. I've been out here about 45 minutes. It's here for brakes all the way around, and I cannot even get the wheels off. All the lug studs came off without a problem, but the wheel is just, all the wheels are seized to the hub. Like I said, 45 minutes out here, beating on it with my rubber hammer here to not damage the rims, hitting it from the front, from the back, penetrating oil. I even tried a little bit of heat with my propane torch. I even tried loosening the studs, or leaving them loose and driving the car back and forth, you know, braking hard, accelerating hard, and nothing. The wheels will not separate from the hub. I think I've wasted enough time on this car. Just gonna tell the customer I'm not doing it. I'm in the Saab. I'm actually driving it right now. I'm sure you can't see anything because the freaking car has no headlights. It's horrible. That's just piece of junk cars. I'm done with this car because all the studs are loose right now on all four wheels. Every single stud is loose. I've tried jerking back and forth and nothing. I've tried the figure 8, nothing. I tried accelerating hard, braking hard. These wheels are not coming off. I don't know if you could hear that, but that's the brakes. Sounds like metal on metal. This is why they wanted to get them done. Yep, hard braking and nothing. These wheels will not break loose. I'm about to go park it and just leave it so the customer can pick it up. We are back with the Saab 9.3, the one that I could not get the wheels off of. The customer took it to a shop and she had them take the wheels off. So now it's back here to get the brakes done, and I couldn't remember if it was a 19 or a 17 millimeter for the studs, which they're 17. Okay. So anyways, I go to check it to make sure, and then look at this. Now I have not touched this wheel. I just pulled it in, I jacked it up, every single lug nut. Take it off from my finger. Now I think all of the other ones are tight. Yeah. Okay, I checked that side already, and the front right side I checked it. So whoever took the wheels off simply forgot to tighten the lug nuts on this one wheel. And it was nowhere near tight. Look at that, they all just come right off. Crazy. I know shit happens. Okay, so the front brakes are all done on this Saab. The back brakes we're not going to be able to get done until tomorrow because the auto parts store did not have the rotors in stock, so I'll take care of that later. But these front rotors, they were a pain in the butt to get off. You saw how difficult the rims were. They did not want to come off. I had to go to a shop and blah blah blah. Well, the rotors were the same exact way, but thanks to my new little toy right here, the IR121. Once again, thank you Steve Rob for recommending that. It's this little tool right here is a beast. It's been putting in its work today, and I'm so grateful. It's made a world of difference. I can't even. I feel like I don't ever want to pick up a hammer and do things manually anymore, ever. So yeah, the 121, little beast, and just making life that much easier. I'm doing the brakes on this Saab. Getting this whole wheel off dilemma, going back and forth between the shop has been crazy. But the brakes are done. And let's see. Here's what was going on the back brakes. And here's what was going on in the front brakes. Yep. So happy to get this one out the garage. Here we have Chevy HHR, another one. It actually belongs to my neighbor, and she brought it to me because of a front wheel bearing. Let's get a better shot of this. The thing is, I'm sure it does need a wheel bearing, but all this play is coming from the tie rods and I think a lower ball joint. Okay, so outer tie rod, the whole knuckle is moving. That's a lower ball joint, and I know I'm not going to be able to set this up, but if we look back there, yeah, you're never going to see this. I moved the camera's moving way too much. But look at that boot, how it kind of, see how it pops up like that? I don't think that's just a loose inner tie rod. I think it's a rack and pinion also. Alright, so she just took the car somewhere to put brake pads on it. Why would you put brake pads on this rotor? I understand sometimes the customer just doesn't want to pay. I don't know if the customer didn't want to pay for a new rotor or the guy who did the brakes was just like, yeah, it'll be fine. Anyway, I could see it's got new pads on it, and the guy that put the pads is actually the guy that told her it needs a wheel bearing. So it turns out there's no clamp on this boot right here, so I was able to remove it. And we could look inside the rack and pinion, and you could see how worn out all that stuff is. So it is indeed the rack and pinion. This is going to be an expensive repair. Seeing what it needs. Obviously it needs another set of pads because this rotor is no good. It damaged the pads. So we need rotor, pads, inner outer tie rod, lower control arm, rack and pinion, and I still have to go on the other side and check everything on that side. And trust me, this car is in a rough shape, so I doubt this thing's gonna, well, I don't know what's gonna go on. I don't want to say anything, but I'm not sure what the customer's gonna do. Just needs a lot of work.